If the roadway is wet or icy, you should A. Reduce your speed. B. Drive at the posted speed. C. Speed up. A. Reduce your speed. Because your tires will not grip the road under wet, snowy, or icy conditions as well as they will under dry conditions, you should slow down if the roadway is wet or icy. If bad weather makes it difficult for you to see clearly, you should A. Speed up to get off the road quickly. B. Drive in the lane closest to oncoming traffic. C. Increase your following distance. C. Increase your following distance. When it is difficult to see due to darkness or poor weather, increase your following distance. This will give you more time to react to hazards that you may not see in advance. If you are being followed too closely on a multi-lane highway, you should A. Speed up to match the speed of the car behind you. B. Move into the lane to your right and let the other car pass. C. Slow down to antagonize the driver. B. Move into the lane to your right and let the other car pass. If you are being followed too closely while driving in the left lane of a multi-lane roadway, merge to your right to allow the other car to pass. The far left lane on a multi-lane road is intended for use by faster-moving vehicles passing slower traffic. To operate a four-wheel vehicle with a gross weight rating (GVWR) under 26,001 pounds, a driver needs a fill in the blank driver license. A. Class M. B. Class D. C. Class O. B. Class D. A Class D driver license permits a driver to operate a personal vehicle that weighs up to 26,000 pounds. A driver may earn a Class D driver license after practicing supervised driving with an instruction permit and completing any required steps in the graduated driver license program.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
When driving in fog, it is best to drive with A. High beam headlights. B. Low beam headlights. C. Four-way flashers. B. Low beam headlights. Use your low beam headlights when driving in fog, rain, or snow. High beam lights can reflect off the weather conditions, lowering visibility even more. Generally, a driver who is operating a vehicle with an intermediate license may not drive between the hours of A. 8 p.m. and 6 a.m. B. 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. C. 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. C. 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. A new driver operating a vehicle while holding an intermediate license may not drive between the hours of 11 p.m. and 4 a.m., unless they are driving to or from a school or church activity, driving to or from a job, driving in the event of an emergency, or are accompanied by a licensed driver who is age 21 or older. When you see an emergency vehicle approaching while using its flashing lights, you must A. Maintain your speed and stay in your lane until the vehicle has passed. B. Move into the right lane and drive slowly until the vehicle has passed. C. Pull over to the curb or edge of the road and stop until the vehicle has passed. C. Pull over to the curb or edge of the road and stop until the vehicle has passed. If you see an emergency vehicle approaching while using its flashing lights, pull over to the right edge of the road and stop. Position yourself parallel to the curb. On one-way streets, drive toward the road edge nearest you. Slowing down just to look at collisions or anything else out of the ordinary. A. Causes traffic congestion. B. Prevents rear-end collisions. C. Improves traffic flow by preventing collisions. A. Causes traffic congestion. Avoid rubbernecking, or slowing down to look at collisions or anything else out of the ordinary. This helps to relieve traffic congestion. This sign is a service sign, B. regulatory sign, C. warning sign, C. warning sign. Warning signs are usually yellow with black markings. They alert you to conditions that are immediately ahead. There may be an upcoming change in traffic direction, a steep downgrade, or another potentially hazardous situation that requires action on the part of the driver. This sign means A. Traffic signal ahead. B. Stop. C. Yield the right of way. A. Traffic signal ahead. This sign warns of an approaching traffic signal. If a tire blows out, you should A. Apply the brake and hold it. B. Hold the steering wheel tightly and use the brakes lightly. C. Pull over quickly. B. Hold the steering wheel tightly and use the brakes lightly. If a tire suddenly blows out while you are driving, hold the steering wheel tightly and keep the vehicle going straight. You should slow down gradually, taking your foot off the gas pedal and using the brakes lightly. Do not stop on the road if at all possible. Pull off the road in a safe place. When driving in work zones, you should A. Increase your speed to get through the zone as quickly as possible. B. Reduce your speed and be prepared to stop suddenly. C. Maintain your normal speed the whole way through the zone. B. Reduce your speed and be prepared to stop suddenly. When entering and driving through a work zone, slow down and be prepared to stop. Obey posted speed limits and be alert to conditions around you. Workers could be present. As you approach the top of a hill, you should A. Speed up slightly. B. Prepare to stop, if needed. C. Maintain a steady speed. B. Prepare to stop, if needed. You may not know what is on the other side of a hill or just around a curve, even if you have driven the road many times. If a vehicle is stalled just out of sight on the roadway, you must be able to stop. Whenever you come to a hill or curve, adjust your speed so you can stop if necessary. This sign means A. Two-way traffic. B. Change in direction ahead. C. School zone and crossing. A. Two-way traffic. This sign informs drivers that they are leaving a divided roadway and approaching a two-way highway. This road sign means A. Pedestrian crossing. B. School crossing. C. Jogging trail. A. Pedestrian crossing. Warning signs provide notice to road users of a situation that might not be readily apparent and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign tells drivers to be alert to crossing pedestrians. If you have a sudden tire blowout. A. Use the brakes lightly. B. Pump the brakes. C. Apply the brakes firmly. A. Use the brakes lightly. If a tire suddenly goes flat while you are driving, hold the steering wheel tightly and keep the vehicle moving straight. Slow down gradually by taking your foot off the gas pedal and using the brakes lightly. Which of the following is most likely to be slippery in cold weather after snow or rain? A. A hilly, open road. B. A residential road. C. A road in a shaded area. C. A road in a shaded area. On cold, wet days, shaded spots on a roadway can become icy. Shaded areas often freeze before, and thaw out after, the rest of a road. Which of these statements is true about driving and taking medications? A. Most cold medications can make a person drowsy. B. Over-the-counter medications cannot impair driving ability if taken in the recommended dosages. C. Medications are safe to take at any time, if prescribed by a doctor. A. Most cold medications can make a person drowsy. Remember that all medications, prescription or over-the-counter, are potentially dangerous and could impair your driving. Over-the-counter medicines that you take for colds and allergies can make you drowsy and affect your driving ability. It is your responsibility to know how your medication affects your ability to drive. Which of these is a safe driving technique? A. Using your high beam lights in the fog. B. Staring at the road ahead of your vehicle. C. Checking your rearview mirrors frequently. C. Checking your rearview mirrors frequently. To stay aware of hazards, you should scan the road and check your rearview mirrors every 2 to 5 seconds. Constantly staring at just the road ahead of you is dangerous. If you must drive in foggy conditions, you should use your low beam headlights, not your high beam headlights. Regulatory signs are A. Green. B. Yellow. C. White. C. White. Regulatory signs inform drivers of specific laws that must be obeyed. Displayed laws may be about traffic direction, lane use, turning, speed, parking, or special situations. Regulatory signs are commonly white squares or rectangles with black, red, or green letters or symbols. This sign means A. Stop. B. Merge. C. Upcoming change in direction. A. Stop. An 8-sided red sign means stop. Curbs painted yellow or red indicate A. Free parking areas. B. Paid parking areas. C. No parking zones. C. No parking zones. Some restricted parking areas are indicated by painted curbs. A curb painted red designates a fire lane. A curb painted yellow may indicate a loading zone, or another parking restriction. In which of the following scenarios should your wheels not be pointed straight ahead? A. When waiting to make a left turn at a traffic light. B. When parked on a hill or sloping driveway. C. When parked on the side of a level roadway where there is no curb. B. When parked on a hill or sloping driveway. While waiting to turn left, keep your wheels pointed straight ahead until it is safe to start your turn. If a vehicle hits you from behind, This will prevent you from veering into oncoming traffic. When parked facing either uphill or downhill, turn the wheel so the vehicle will not roll into traffic if the brakes fail. If no signs or markings are present to control turning at an intersection, drivers should turn A. Into the first available lane. B. Into the last available lane. C. Into any lane. A. Into the first available lane. When there are no signs or lane markings to control turning, a driver should turn into the first legal lane in their direction of travel. Collisions are less likely when drivers do not change lanes while turning onto a new street. If driving conditions are less than perfect, you should increase your following distance to at least A. 1 second. B. 2 seconds. C. 4 seconds. C. 4 seconds. When driving under perfect conditions, you should never be closer than 2 seconds away from the vehicle in front of you. If conditions are less than perfect, you should extend your following distance to 4 seconds.